Hey everyone, it's Azra from English Literature Batch 24 with the NPM of 24111-013, and this is the Wired Autocomplete interview. Ooh. Are you guys ready? Alright, let's start with the first questions, shall we? What is Azra's memorable moments in 2024? Well, some moments in 2024 that I could never forget is when I went to New York to visit a friend for holiday, while also attending the Met GaLa. It was such an incredible experience since it was my first time being invited to the gala. A lot of famous designers and celebrities were there and everyone dressed well, including me. But the fun didn't stop there. The following week, I visited my pen pal Joe, who happened to be in New York too. It was a moment that will be very hard to top even with the gala. Visiting Joe was unforgettable in every way because it was the very first time we get to meet each other. Okay, let's move to the second question. With whom did Azra go to New York? Well, the plan was actually to go with the whole family because I wanted Joe to meet them. But unfortunately, they were too busy with work, so I decided to go to New York by myself. Alright, the third question. Where did Azra stay in New York? The first week I attended the Met GaLa, I stayed at the Mark Hotel, since it's the closest hotel to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where the gala was held. And then I moved to Joe's place with his mother the following week. His house was nearby, so I stayed there the rest of the week. Next question, the fourth question is, how long did Azra stay in New York? Well, I stayed in New York for only a couple of weeks. The fifth question, what surprised Azra the most in New York? Well, obviously the big city, how diverse and vibrant the city was. Every neighborhood feels like a different world to me. Not to mention, the buildings, the crowds, and the energy of the city was unlike anywhere else. And also talking about the crowds, it's 24/7 hustle and bustle. You can literally find something happening at any time of day or night. Next, the sixth question. What places did Azra visit in New York? Well, during my time in New York, Joe and I spent our time visiting a lot of New York famous places, like New York Times Square, the Central Park, the Natural History Museum, to the Empire State Building, and more. Okay, the next question, the seventh question. What activities did Azra do in New York? Well, Joe and I planned a lot of activities together, obviously. For instance, we did a lot of things at Central Park. We talked and looked at some birds, and we had a stroll around the park. We also took a lot of pictures at New York Times Square. We tried the famous New York pizza, and we even went to the Broadway Theater to watch the Lion King plays. The view of the New York skyline from the observation deck of the Empire State Building was very mesmerizing. It was the best experience we got. Next up, the eighth question. What were Azra's favorite moments in New York? Even though we explored different places in New York, my favorite moments were when I spent the last few days at Joe's place before going back home. It was very memorable because we did a lot of fun indoor activities. We played all kinds of board games, we took silly pictures, we had a lot of fun doing karaoke, and we even tried baking, which was a total disaster. Going to New York to visit him was the best decision I've made. It was the best memories I had in 2024. Okay, there you have it. Everything you need to know about my holiday activities. I had a lot of fun answering those questions. So, I guess I'll see you around then. Bye! And finally, our last question of the day. You've been lying to us, aren't you, Azra? What? I didn't.